Welcome to This Explainer. I want you to think about the absolute most reluctant reader you know. Got them in your head? Okay, now picture them walking into a classroom, but instead of the usual rows of desks and forced quiet, they step into this vibrant, almost ethereal space. We're talking tissue paper flowers, board games scattered around, and just joyous sixth graders creating art. It's completely unexpected, right? Well, that's exactly the point. Today, we're diving into a really radical educational framework, Sean Taylor's Reading Bootcamp. And specifically, we're going to figure out exactly why a concentrated 20-day immersion can completely flip literacy outcomes upside down. So here's our roadmap for the explainer. First, we'll rethink reading intervention entirely. Then, we'll look at why community and oracy have to come first, followed by using performance as fluency practice. After that, we'll break down the actual 20-day architecture, and finally, we'll see how joy acts as true rigor. Let's get into it. All right, part one. Rethinking reading intervention and creating a massive paradigm shift. It really kicks off with this incredibly powerful question. What if a reading intervention literally didn't look like an intervention? Think about it. What if struggling readers didn't have to spend the first 20 days of their school year constantly being reminded that they're falling behind? Instead of sticking kids in some isolated room to stare passively at a screen or trudge through an endless stack of packets, imagine putting them in a lively art studio. A place where they're actually laughing, building forts, and actively debating novels. It's all about completely changing the baseline conditions of where and how learning happens. When you compare traditional models with this bootcamp approach, the contrast is honestly wild. Traditional setups usually start with a deficit mindset, basically asking, what can't this kid do? And then piling on the isolation and worksheets. But the bootcamp model, it is intensely asset-focused. It's this 20-day immersive sprint that asks a completely different question. Who is this child and what are they actually curious about? It treats them like fully capable humans who really just need a compelling reason to jump in and engage with text. And it all boils down to this. Before we can ever ask children to love reading, we literally have to give them something worth loving. Sean Taylor, the creator of this program, actually grew up as a struggling dyslexic reader himself. He eventually found his way into literacy through theater and performance. And that lived experience made him realize that intervention just cannot be about drilling isolated skills into the ground. It needs to be this joyful, almost camp-like experience, packed with high-interest literature and absolutely zero workbook busywork. Moving right along to section 2, community and oracy first, which is really the missing foundation. So let's talk about oracy. It's a concept that honestly gets totally overlooked. But this bootcamp model is built entirely on the reality that reading doesn't actually start on the page. I mean, spoken language exists way before print, right? Because of that, strong reading comprehension and strong writing have to grow out of a really deliberate, rich foundation of oral language. So before anyone asks a kid, hey, are you reading? This environment is constantly asking, what are you hearing? Can you talk through your thinking? Can you listen to your friend's idea and actually build on it? To build up that oral foundation, the classroom literally transforms into an ohana, a true supportive family community, and it's powered by what's called the Kagan engine. Now, this isn't just a teacher saying, hey, go work with a partner. It is highly structured cooperative interaction. We're talking frameworks like Think, Pair, Share or Sage and Scribe, where kids are actively listening, coaching, teaching, and reasoning together. Suddenly, language becomes a totally social act. The kids start taking intellectual risks simply because they finally feel safe enough to be wrong. Which brings us to section 3, performance as fluency practice, or how to actually bring text to life. Okay, when we finally take fluency practice off the worksheet, things get pretty interesting. You're probably wondering, why on earth are we making struggling readers sing? And no, it's not for a choir audition. Daily singing is this incredible tool that combines rhythm, memory, articulation, and vocabulary all at once as the students track printed lyrics. But the absolute best part? It massively lowers the social risk of speaking out loud. A struggling reader doesn't have to stand up there all by themselves. The entire class becomes one single voice. It is just a brilliant, low-stress way to build fluency and confidence at the exact same time. And the sophistication here is actually rooted in the classical trivium, grammar, rhetoric, and dialectic. Through things like reader's theater, a kid isn't just rereading a paragraph for the 5th time because a teacher told them to. They're rereading it because tomorrow they actually have to get up and perform it. They have to figure out, okay, what does this actually say? How do I communicate this feeling? Was this character even making a reasonable choice? Reading totally stops being this boring decoding exercise and levels up into dynamic, purposeful thinking. Then you toss in cooking and Finnish-inspired handicraft, and literacy literally becomes a physical activity. They call this the wisdom of the hand. Think about it. Following a recipe, measuring out materials, or building a tangible project physically proves that you actually comprehended the text because you successfully made something real with your own two hands. You're reading instructions, you're using procedural vocabulary, you're making predictions, and you're persisting through mistakes. This tangible, hands-on connection is exactly why vocabulary retention just absolutely skyrockets in these 20 days. All right, Section 4, the 20-day architecture, and how it creates a massive snowball effect. This whole 20-day sprint is definitely not random. The timeline itself is the secret sauce. Days 1 through 5 are all about aggressively establishing trust, safety, and a sense of belonging. Then, days 6 through 10 pivot to using high-interest books to spark some serious, deep curiosity. By days 11 through 15, it's all about mastery, really expanding that fluency through repetition and peer teaching. And finally, days 16 through 20 are the performance phase, taking that super supportive classroom and turning them into a real live audience. It creates this incredible snowball effect where the condensed timeline basically forces a rapid, undeniable transformation in a kid's confidence. But let's be really clear here. This 20-day architecture is a launchpad. It is not some magic cure that just completely bypasses the complex science of learning to read. It absolutely still includes explicit word study, vocabulary development, and progress monitoring. The trick is that it embeds all those hard skills right inside these highly meaningful experiences. This concentrated 20-day burst generates the intense momentum and confidence that kids actually need for their future targeted instruction to stick. It just completely changes the conditions for learning. And finally, Section 5, joy as true rigor, and how we need to redefine the outcome. So in just 20 days, this environment manages to successfully change 3 distinct things all at the same time. Yes, for sure, it builds those absolutely vital academic skills, but crucially, it also totally transforms a child's identity. They stop walking around thinking, I'm a bad reader, and genuinely start thinking, hey, I am becoming a reader. Plus, it builds massive community, proving to them that they actually matter to their peers. That specific 3-pronged combination, that is the real intervention. And honestly, here is a statistic that should just blow your mind. 0. Literally 0 minutes of workbook busy work. A child in this program can work incredibly hard. They can struggle through writing 5 drafts of a script, and they can learn 20 complex new vocabulary words without spending a single minute filling in a blank on a worksheet. Why? Because the rigor here is driven by a joyful, highly meaningful purpose. You see, joy isn't the opposite of rigor. Joy is exactly what happens when difficult work actually matters to the student doing it. Just like a single spark is all you need to build a massive, self-sustaining campfire, if we can simply rethink the environment and give struggling readers something that is genuinely worth loving, they will learn to carry the fire of literacy all by themselves. We really don't need to force compliance when we have the tools to ignite curiosity. So looking at the absolutely incredible outcomes that are possible in just 20 days, I want to leave you with one final thought. What is going to be your very first step to changing the conditions for the readers in your life?